Um, what you know, what level of disruption is that actually causing? Um, and there's two sides to every story, you know. We've and I have dealt with toxic people. I mean, any organization of any size is going to have toxic people in it. Um, and the other part of that, the toxic people, a lot of times they're really good producers, and that makes it tough to just sort them out. Okay, if I looked into it, and it was just somebody with a super abrasive personality, and I say I worked with a guy whose nickname was 40 Grit. Then there are some things you can do. You can you can try to get them to understand. You can try to get them to change. If they have a really abrasive personality, sometimes you just got to move them off to the side or find some place where they don't have the opportunity to be as abrasive. Now, that's a problem if their job is to work with other people, on a regular basis, and every time they work with them, it goes sideways. Now you're talking about a performance issue. But if they have some kind of a job where they can do a little bit more remotely without irritating somebody, that could possibly be an option.
Thank you. You have to give a performance appraisal on an employee. How do you approach it?
Well, I mean, that's a daily thing. Performance appraisals that's an ongoing thing. You have to know. Everybody has to know what the standards are. They have to basically be on the same page. They have to know what the operational intent is. What are you trying to accomplish? Okay, and so the appraisal is an ongoing thing, and the annual appraisal, which what I assume that you're talking about, or whatever period you have, is just a summation of what you've talked about on an ongoing basis. So you sit down with the person and you go through whatever form you have, and you say, okay, this is the history, this is the standard, this is what's happened, these are your actions, this was excellent, this is something you could improve on, this is something I'd like to see in the future. This is an opportunity you have to, really, excel at something, or this is something that you're a little bit weak on that you could do better on. And then, find out from them, what they think, what resources they might need or something. It's a two-way process. I mean, obviously it's not me telling you, you're doing good, you're doing bad. It's just a summation of the relationship that you've had between that person, you, and the job for the last year.
Thank you.
What are some of the major trends that will be impacting fire service over the next decade? And how well do you think South King Fire is positioned to address any trends that may impact us?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of trends. I mean, transportation. Okay, you got while you're going through here, you got electric vehicles. That's going to be happening more. AI, robotics is going to be a lot more prevalent. The workforce, mobile workforce. I don't know that the fires that I don't. Let me back up a second. How long are you talking about in future? I mean, are you talking 2050? Or are you talking about the next?
No, probably the next decade, 10 years maybe?
Okay, okay. Yeah, there's going to be, technology is going to be huge. Okay. The AI, robotics, electrification, um, uh, and there's going to be, um, also changes to, how people relate to each other, the workforce. There's going to be, a lot of changes in medicine. Okay. Some things are going to get better, some things are going to get worse. I think there's going to be, the way that insurance is going right now, and the way medicine is delivered. And we saw this with the COVID. Okay. Um, Firefighters had never given inoculations before. And quite honestly, when I was in my master's program at the Naval Postgraduate School, I did a fairly, like a mini thesis on pandemics, and that was before the pandemic. Okay, so I thought long and hard about this, and when it hit, I was one of the people that first came forward and said, look, we're going to have to get ready right now, be able to test and inoculate people, because you're not going to be able to go to the doctor to get an inoculation. You're not going to be able to go to CVS, get a shot, because everybody needs a shot. Everybody needs it at the same time. We need to be the ones to do that. I brought that up. So I think there's going to be other needs or opportunities for, more field delivery of different kinds of medicine. Telemedicine is huge, and that is going to move into the field. And I think that with AI and so on like that, we might have an opportunity to actually do a lot more stuff, in the field without having a ton more. You're not going to have to get trained up to a paramedic level or even a doctor's level. You're going to have that stuff on your phone. Okay. So I think that's an opportunity. The, dispersed workforces, that might be something that happens. Robotics. And when we say robotics, it's not necessarily, a walking, talking robot. Drones, to me, are robot. That's robotics. Okay. We're going to have a lot more opportunity to know what's going on in the neighborhood at all times. The, cameras and stuff like that are all over towns now and so on like that, as they get more and more integrated, we're going to have abilities, to know what's going on if there's some kind of an emergency before anybody else knows and thinks to call 911. We're going to have the ability to know that first. Now, how well is South King, positioned to take advantage or to be part of that? I would say probably as well as any other fire department, because that those are things that are coming down the pipe. And quite honestly, from what I know in the fire service, a lot of that stuff is just right now being studied at the academic level, and to actually start to put money, citizens' money toward dealing with something that hasn't happened yet. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I don't think we're any worse, but probably not any better than any other fire departments.
Okay. Thank you, Nurse Surgeon. So that completes our open forum. So the board will convene an executive session for interim fire chief interviews pursuant to RCW 42.30.110(1G to evaluate the qualification of an applicant for public employment or to review the performance of a public employee. However, subject to RCW 42.30.1404, discussion by a governing body of salaries, wages, and other conditions of employment to be generally applied within the agency shall occur in the meeting open to the public. And when a governing body elects to take final action, hiring, setting the salary of an individual employee or class employees, or discharging or disciplining an employee, that action shall be taken in a meeting open to the public. Action may or may not be taken after executive session. Joining the board in executive session will be Executive Director Ganem, Executive Secretary Perry, and legal counsel. At this time, we're recessed for 2 minutes to get everyone transferred into executive session. We anticipate executive session lasts from 60 minutes this time. At the end of the executive session, we will take 2 minutes to recess for everyone transferred back into special meeting. We're going to let everyone leave, and then we're going to have some questions.
More questions?